Well, let's start with the rumors, and maybe they will stimulate your speculative mind. The first
Yeah.
one is there's apparently a new Donkey Kong country being developed by the Super Mario Odyssey team.
Saw
I'm
that.
I'm I know that there's been a lot of back and forth about the 2D versus 3D on that. I know everyone's expecting it to be 2D, but at that point, why not just leave it with retro and let them continue on with the Donkey Kong Country series because they did just fine. I personally want a 3D Donkey Kong. It's been long enough. Let's see it happen.
You want a 3D Donkey Kong? What
Yes.
what could 3D Donkey Kong offer that Mario Odyssey could not? What would be the gimmick?
Well, for one, cut back on the amount of characters because that was a damn nightmare on Donkey Kong 64.
But I think that's one of the unique play aspects of Donkey Kong
No, there are too
64.
many collectibles
I mean,
because
I
of
guess
that.
they could. I think that a 3D Donkey Kong, I think, would do well. I would be in favor
In
of
this
a 3D
era.
Donkey Kong. Yeah,
Yes.
and being that, especially, this is you have the Mario Odyssey team working on it versus Retro, which would probably, I mean, I'm sure they've got other projects on their hands, and maybe this is, who knows if they're not still contracting or consulting with Retro, given the previous titles and stuff. But I do feel like a 3D Donkey Kong developed with something unique and different, which is the Odyssey team seems like the perfect team to handle something
Hmm.
like that. I think could do very well.
Well, stop me if I'm wrong, but I think that team was the same one who also worked on Jungle Beat, and that game was like that's a hidden gem on the GameCube. Like I know people make fun of it because of the bongos, but that game really worked well with the whole bongo thing, and I played the living crap out of that one.
Which
So
one's Jungle Beat?
Uh,
that was the one where you had the bongos and you had the clap to, and it
I
was
thought
like
it
a
was
side
just Donkey
scroller.
Konga.
it was a
Oh,
t-
it's
it
No,
was a,
they're
Donkey Konga Jungle Beat.
yeah, it was a 2D platformer with,
yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
re-released it on the Wii with motion controls.
Yeah, but without the bongos, the bongos really added something to playing that one because I have both.
I have two sets of bongos.
But do you have the
Yeah,
game, or do you just have bongos?
I have Donkey Konga 1 and I think 2.
I have the two Congos and I have Jungle Beat on both the GameCube and the Wii.
I have none. I actually have not played it.
Konga.
But that's what I mean. Like it was very original and unique. And then you look at Odyssey, and that one brought a lot of new stuff. So
Mhm.
I don't know what I would want to see, but I think that they could really surprise me and bring something that I wouldn't expect, and I'd be on board with it. Like seeing where they take it for a 3D.
So the pros I see is 3D, the 3D genre is kind of in its renaissance right now. You have the ukulele, you've got what else that came out? You've got the Spyro trilogy, Crash Bandicoot games, which if you want to call it 3D
I
platforming, I
think
don't
now
know.
you could.
So
Balan Wonderworld. I mean,
the
Super
Doors,
Lucky
sir.
Tail.
Yeah, Super Lucky
If we're
Tail.
going with good games.
Yeah.
well, I think now the technology to make those games is more accessible.
Yeah, indies can now do it. So
Yeah.
what was the one with the little
Hat in Time.
the girl with? Yeah, that's the one I
Yeah.
was thinking of.
So
Yeah.
there, I think there's a market for it. Donkey Kong Country, we've seen it. Like we've seen two fantastic entries where it's like, just bring those again. Like the you're not gonna do any. The graphics are so advanced and the gameplay is so tight. I don't think you need to make a third one. Like if you bring those two back, and a 3D version, I think allows Nintendo to kind of clean up its IP ownership. Like to Donkey Kong 64 is when we really saw the Donkey Kong family kind of expand properly. Is that fair to say? Like they were adding characters in country, but I feel well,
Yes.
64 is the first time you were playing like properly with like unique mechanics of all the different Kongs. So this would be a good time to kind of refresh the IP. Now the con, not the Kong, would be Super Mario Odyssey was developed over 7 years, so that came out in 17. So it's been already 4 years. So it could be
Yeah,
possible.
but think about they wanted to take Mario in a new direction. They I bet there were some barriers to actually put Mario Odyssey into development or deploy a lot of the mechanics and elements to the game that made it so different. I bet there were some feet dragging at Nintendo from traditionalist
Yeah.
developers there. But I think, once they, is like proof of concept that they could execute on this unique styled game, and maybe they've had these, different things planned for the Donkey Kong series for a long time, and this was just their way to, shuffle out their Mario Odyssey project and then start work on this other unique branded Donkey Kong game. And plus, like, at this point, I think we've had enough 2D Donkey Kongs on relevant modern-ish systems, so I think it's like the only route left to take.
They never ported the original Returns to Switch, right? We only have Tropical Freeze there.
Returns was on the Wii and the 3DS.
And the Wii U.
No.
Was it on
well,
the Wii?
you could digital or through the virtual console, but in terms of like standalone ports, you had the Wii and then you had the 3DS version.
Okay, so they could definitely port it to the Switch. How much did Tropical Freeze? I think Tropical Freeze did decent on the Switch, so I'm surprised we didn't see the other one come back.
Well, it's kind of in this weird, because you had the motion controls that were tied to the better visuals, and there's, I think, 60 FPS on the Wii, whereas it was no motion, but 30 FPS on the 3DS, and it was a whole weird thing.
So
one of the things oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, the sales for Tropical Freeze is 2 million as of 2019 on the Switch.
I'm just going to come out and say it. If they had priced it properly at $40, that probably would have been double to triple those numbers.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say?
I was going to say, you were talking about the dev time, but you got to take into account that Mario Odyssey engine, that would be perfect. It's already built, and it was a brilliant engine specifically for that game, so I could easily see Donkey Kong being plugged into it.
Yeah, and it was also, the Wii U era, I think, was a very pivotal moment for Nintendo. They shared how they struggled with the adoption of HD graphics. That was one of their challenges that they overcame in that development time of Mario Odyssey. Their online, forget it, they haven't overcome that. But there was also the passing of the torch, I think, to a lot more teams. As we saw with Splatoon, there was like a lot of kind of new juniors on the rise. So I think if there was a 3D Donkey Kong game, for sure, it would probably be released probably in less time than 7 years.
Yeah.
Let's go to space. Donkey Kong in
3 to
space.
4 years, I think, would be very reasonable for a solid 3D Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, and plus if they positioned it to release holiday, I mean...
You think it's happening this year?
I don't know if it would be a big headlining title for them, but I feel like that would be like in a September-October title.
And I suspect they could do so much because like they introduced like Pauline. I think they'd bring back Pauline in that universe. Maybe have New Donk City play a bigger part. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless it was like another racing game, which I don't think they would do because it would kind of cannibalize their Mario Kart. But
unless it was a very unique idea.
Although it would give them an excuse because they don't want to touch Mario Kart, and it would be far enough removed that it would allow them to do another type of kart game, but not have to be Mario Kart, so it wouldn't cannibalize
and maybe if they
sales.
have stuff that they would have put in Mario Kart that were not necessarily throwaway ideas, but ideas that wouldn't fit the
track builder. Oh, sorry.
think
I've been wanting them to do a track builder.
I mean,
for
that could be
ages.
I think that could bode well with a lot of people being, the same team that brought this like uniqueness to Mario does that for the racing genre.
Well, I think we had talked about like an open world racing game, right? Diddy Kong Racing kind of had that open world and the boss elements that could be taken to so much like greater heights with the technology we have now, compared to what you could do on the N64. Like imagine an open world Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
And actually that could blend well with a 3D Donkey Kong where there's maybe it's an open world 3D Donkey Kong game with vehicles in it. So that way you're getting the best of both worlds.
Or you could go, if we're going to the 3D platformer route, we could actually have it as a legitimate crossover where you start in New Donk City as Donkey Kong, interacting with all those people,
Oh yeah.
and then it goes out into, so you get kind of that crossover between the two.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love that.
This would work so
Yeah.
well. And there's so many open world games I think of where there are racing segments where I see like I'm thinking of Lego Avengers where you like run around New York and there's like race segments. Could do the same thing but in a bigger world. Run it, Nintendo. Giving you all these ideas for free.
Although all we're doing is getting our hopes up, because sure as hell this ain't gonna happen.
It's going to be something with a banana controller that you have to like move and like
don't know,
mark
that'd be
into.
cool.
They're just like,
Weird.
the original Donkey Kong classics are back. It's like,
They seem
yay.
kind of risk adverse nowadays.
With
so.
this functional banana phone
Yeah.
that you need 3 wires to talk into.
Banana phone.